Well, hello, students, and welcome back again to Limitless English with Mr. Reyes. So far, what we have today is the Unit 3 in the book Word Link, and there are some things that are extra within this book that we don't have directly inside the book. So let's get started. Usually, Unit 3 is named shopping. In shopping, it's one of the words that you can use in different contexts. If you look for the definition of shopping, it could be when you're shopping now with the ing. It could be shop and using that a little later. And you have shopping with ing, meaning that is an activity that you normally do. So try to investigate about shopping so you'll see what I'm telling you. That was the only word that we put in, and we can use it in different aspects. It could be a verb, a noun, depending on how you call it inside the sentence. Okay? And it could even be an adjective when you say the shopping mall. Yes, shopping there is describing the mall. So shopping in that context is not a verb. Now, if you say I am shopping in the shopping mall, there you're using the verb and you're using the adjective too. Check on it and investigate about shopping. Now, what we have in this unit is basically the count nouns and the non-count nouns. All right? Something simple about count nouns and non-count nouns. Well, usually count nouns are the ones that you can count. And non-count nouns, they are the ones that you cannot count. All right? So we have things, and we're going to see a picture a little later so you can understand this a little faster or even a lot better. Now, they belong to a family that the family can be counted. Usually when they can be counted, most of the time you can say a, that a means one. And in the ones that you cannot count, then you cannot use a because you cannot say one. All right? But it's all right. We got here singular or the singular and plural form of them, of the non-count, of the count nouns, is that you got here apples. You could say an apple, or you could say apples, right? Carrots, carrots. Usually they have, they put an S, or they have a specific way for you to have them plurals. Tomato, tomatoes, right? Those are the ones that are count nouns. All right, the non-count nouns, they belong basically to a group. All right, so when you say beef, then you're talking about everything that includes beef. It could be the beef of the cow, the beef of the dog, the beef of the rat. You're talking about everything in general. So it's good to understand that part too. All right, when you say cereal, too, this cereal basically means general cereals. All right, so that's why you cannot count if I say think about cereal. Rice is a little tricky. Right, rice is a little tricky. Because if you see the rice, we know that rice are grains, okay? But at the same time, when you say rice, you're talking about like everything together. Now, the rice alone, no, that is not countable. But can we count the grain? Yes, the grain is countable. The grain belongs to the other family in that aspect. All right, bread, the same thing. Bread is not countable. Cheese is not countable. I love cheese. And soda is not countable. Now, what happens most of the time is that when you get one of these articles that they are not countable, but you put them in an artifact, or let's say inside a bowl, then you count the bowl. For example, you could say a can of soda. That means that soda is inside that can, and you can count the can, not the soda. All right? So try to study that part because it's a little tricky in that aspect. All right, it says here, English divides nouns into things we can count nouns, and things we can't count, non-count nouns. Count nouns have singular and plural forms. All right, so the ones that you can count, they usually have singular and plural form. Singular and plural count nouns and non-count nouns. It says here, article. You use this article sometimes, and it's very good for us to memorize this part. When we have a singular noun, we can say a banana, meaning that we're talking about exactly or directly that banana. All right, a banana is a good snack. All right. Here, the same thing, the banana is in the bowl. So you can use a or the in this aspect when it comes to the bananas. And it's good to memorize this part. It says use a, and, or the before the noun. Use a singular form of the verb. All right. So if you're talking about a noun that is countable, and you're talking about their singular form, you can use any of these three. It's good to know that part. All right. When you have a plural noun, all right, when they are plural, well then you don't say a, because plural means that it's more than one, and a means one. All right. So when it's plural, you say bananas. In this case, no a. Bananas are good for you. okay? And you can say the, plural, the bananas are on the table, or the bananas are good for you. So the article that you can use in the two of them is the, okay? When they are plural, only the. When they are singular, you can use a and the, meaning a, that is one, and the other article, all right? Make sure that we're practicing this thing. And here it says use the or no article before the noun. So the only article that you can use, right, on the plural form is the. That's it. Use the plural form of the verb. Great. Non-count nouns, all right, non-count nouns. The only article that you can use in the non-count noun is the. That's it. No more articles before the non-count nouns. All right. Here you got bread. Bread is not countable. Okay. And then you got here is inexpensive. And the only article that you can use, the bread is in the bag. So you can use only the. It says use the or no article before the noun. Use a singular form of the verb. So that would be it. All right. You only use the article the when we were talking about the non-count nouns. All right. When we were talking about them, in order for you to understand a little more, it says here general amounts and the things that we use in order to express or to specify those amounts. It says here, please buy some. So you got here bread, that is not countable, lettuce, ice cream, carrots. So for everybody, you can use some. All right. Please buy a. In this case, you can only use a's for the things that are countable. A loaf, a head, a carton, a bunch. And these things are countable. All right. Of bread. So bread is not countable, but a loaf of bread is countable. Yes, a loaf is countable. That means that we divide it in two pieces, and it's good for us to memorize that part. How can I cut or get a piece of something that is not countable? So like that piece, because a piece can be countable. Get that part. All right. We could say here, and this is the next thing that we have. You put those things in an artifact or in a bowl, and you'll see that you can count the bowl, right? Not what is inside. Okay, so here we got a bottle of water. So here, what is countable is the bottle. But yes, if you get a bottle, you fill them with water, then you can count that bottle, not the water. All right. A can of soup, you cannot count soup, but a can, yes, you can count a can. A glass of juice, yes, you can count the glass, but juice you cannot count. A piece of cake. Cake is a little crazy because cake has more than one definition. On the one definition, that is the cake that everybody will make, or the cake in general, then that is not countable. But when you say a birthday cake, then that is a different definition. That is the cake that was made for your birthday. You know, not the cake that everybody put together to do with all the condiments and stuff. All right. So that cake, your birthday cake, yes, that one is countable. Look for the definition just in case. A piece of cake or a piece of chocolate. Chocolate we don't count, but a piece, yes, we can count. A cup of coffee. Coffee, we don't count the coffee. But a cup, yes, you can count the cup. So you get the cup, you know, one cup, you put it in, and that you can count the cup. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cups of coffee. Yes. Or a cup of soup. A slice of bread, right? You can say a slice of bread. You can count the slice. You cannot count the bread, okay? So a slice of bread or a slice of pie. Now, there are a couple of things, guys, that before you get to this unit, you are supposed to know, right? So one of the things that you are supposed to know is about the nouns, all right? Because we're talking about countable nouns and non-countable nouns. So before you study what is countable noun, what is non-countable noun, well, you need to understand what is a noun. And usually this problem happens in different languages, right? Some of the times they don't learn what is a noun, or they don't specify. And then whenever we get something that has to do directly with the noun, everybody gets confused. But it's all right. Don't worry. We are here to help. So the type of nouns, as you investigate, we can get them here, right? We got common nouns. It's used name, people, places, or things in general. It refers to class or type of person or thing without being specific. Example, you got here girl, right? We say girl, it could be any girl, right? It's talking about general. So a noun is a name for something. All right, city, animal. If you say cat, dog, those are common. House, food, and things like that. Those are common nouns, okay? Proper nouns, which is a little more complex, they are used for a specific names for individual. For example, Mr. Reyes is a proper noun. Your name, all right, your name is Aneudis, Arturo, Joseph, whatever your name is, it is a proper noun because that name was given specifically to you. And whenever we call you by your name, then you are supposed to answer and we refer to you, okay? So we got here countable nouns. Countable have a singular and plural form and can be used with a number or an before it, right? Very important. They are sometimes called count nouns. Example, car, desk, cup, house, bike. In all of them, they have a plural. Uncountable noun. They cannot be counted. They often refer to substances, liquid, and it's very good to get these things, and abstract ideas, all right? Whatever you have inside your mind, I cannot really count that, all right? Just in case. They are sometimes called mass nouns. Example, wood, milk, air, happiness. Yes, maybe you are full of happiness right now because you are getting more information about English. We wish that that would be true. Continue studying. All right, concrete nouns, we got to refer to people or thing that exists physically and that at least one of the senses can detect. Example, dog, tree, apple, moon, sock. Those are things that you can sense with one of your senses. I mean, that you could see, that you could touch, that you could hear. All right, that's what the ones that we call concrete. Abstract, oh my God, the abstract, very important. Abstract is something that you cannot directly feel with your senses. It's the opposite of concrete, but it's all right. Have no physical existence. They refer to ideas, emotions, and concepts. You cannot see, touch, hear, smell, or taste. So those are basically contrary, just in case. The concrete nouns and the abstract nouns, they are contrary. Why? Because the concrete nouns, then you can use one of your senses. You can touch, you can hear, you can smell. All right? And the abstract, you cannot see them, you cannot hear them, you cannot smell them, you cannot taste them. All right? They are not seen or touched, or they are not checked with your senses. Okay? Compound nouns, two or more words that create a noun. And this is like a little crazy because we have a lot of those. All right? They can be written as one word, joined by a hyphen, or written as separate words. Example, rain, fall. All right? Rain means one thing, fall means another thing. When you put them together, then they created another word that means rainfall. You know, like when the rain is coming down. But it's all right. Son-in-law, right? That's one word basically. Those are three put together and they mean son-in-law. Son-in-law is that person that is your husband, and when you're referring to your father. So your husband is your father's son-in-law. Why? Well, because it's not bloody a bloody relationship, but it's all right. Collective. All right, collective refers to a set or group of people, animal, or things. They are often followed by of plus plural noun. An example, bunch of flowers. Similar to what we got here. All right, the only thing is that this refers to a group. Team, pile, stack, flock, and bunch. All right, make sure that you are studying this and checking this, so like that everything will be all right, especially on the count nouns and non-count nouns. All right, the next section that we have is basically how you put them in a sentence. All right, countable and uncountable nouns. Now that we got some information about countable nouns, we got some information about nouns, it's good to know how they go inside a sentence. Okay, so we got here have a singular and plural form, countable nouns. All right, a tree, and then you got some examples. A tree, two trees, the book is old, the books are old, and so on. All right, can use a singular verb or a plural verb. Okay, now we have here uncountable nouns. Okay, it says have only one form. So uncountable noun, they have only one form. So always when they're uncountable, only put one form. You don't have no plural. Always we treat them basically as singular in that aspect, but it's all right. All right, they have no plural. So uncountable, always you treat them as ones. We got here butter. We don't say butters. All right, butter is butter. Butter is butter. always use a singular verb. Sugar is sweet. Bread is nice. All right. Rice is great. All right. Use a singular verb with the uncountable nouns. Good. Very important because a lot of people, they use a non-singular verb, but it's all right. Cannot use a, and, or a number. All right. Very important. We don't say, I like a sugar. No, no, no. That is incorrect. All right. Whenever you memorize what are the ones that are uncountable, never use a or n before an uncountable noun. Okay. You say rice, breast. I like rice. You don't say I like a rice. No, no, no. I like rice. I like bread. In here, you don't say two rice, two breads. No, 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 no. Only rice, bread, because you cannot count them. All right. Make sure that you are checking this information and practice. All right. Now, very important. It says here, and this is part of the things that not a lot of people investigate. All right. Uncountable nouns are often, all right, they belong to these 6 groups so far, maybe more, but those are the ones that we know up to the moment. All right. Abstract ideas. So abstract idea, you cannot count them. Like whatever you're thinking right now, I cannot really like get in your mind, but that is yours, and I cannot count those things. All right. Now we talk about love, freedom, education, luck, help, beauty, music, thunder. Those are examples. All right. Now, made of smaller parts. All right. These are things that are like very, 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 very small. Right. So you got sugar, you don't count, rice, salt, sand, flour, dirt, dust, traffic, glass, spaghetti. All right. And same food cut into small parts: bread, fish, cheese, chocolate, meat, bacon, food, and ham. Those we cannot count. The liquids, all right? Water, milk, wine, oil, coffee, rain, soup, air, smoke, blood, juice, fog, right? Those things we cannot count. Materials: wood, glass, paper, gold, silver, ice, iron, cotton, wool, steel. And here it says, be careful. Uncountable in English, those are direct uncountable. They don't belong to those families that we got there, but they are uncountable. What? Furniture, advice, work, news, information, luggage, and money. And a lot of people, when we talk about money, they say, but money, I can count my money. Well, it's not directly the money that you can count, because money, when you say money, you are talking about money in general, like all the money in the world. But I know that what you can count are your dollars or your pesos, all right? So I have $3, I have $10. Yes, the dollars, those things you can count, the dollars. But money itself, money belongs to the group of money that is general. That means that is everything in that aspect. Well, as of here is basically the things that we have for this video. Hoping that everybody enjoys the video. Please repeat it again, so like that you can practice your English and you can get all this information so you can do great, especially in your class. Say goodbye to everybody. See you guys soon. Limitless English from Mr. Reyes.